Your mind is limitless. The possibilities are endless. Awaken Your Mind Magic shows you how you can dream limitlessly and live your life on a new level. Susan Kathleen speaks with ordinary people who are living extraordinary lives using the power of their mind.
Silver on the outside, gold on the inside. Silver on the outside, gold on the inside. Silver on the outside.
Abundance, prosperity, and success. There are no limits to what you can dream. Join Susan Kathleen on a journey into your dreams, making a difference and living life on your own terms. This is Awaken Your Mind Magic.
Hello and welcome everyone. My guest speaker today is Des O'Connor, UK's #1 consultant for creating women business leaders worldwide and empowering them to speak on stage. He is the award winner and founder of social media marketing and women in business events, entrepreneur and international speaker. Also, Des is the founder of social media marketing events and Association for Social Media Managers, Des O'Connor's Woman in Business, award-winning relationship coach, business consultant, and international speaker. Des's new project is Des O'Connor's Woman in Business Super Conference, which empowers women to be successful in business on September 24th in London. And I'm holding space that this event will take place as planned. He's also a social media consultant and founder of social media marketing events, which helps business owners and entrepreneurs to discover actionable insights and practical advice to use social media to expand their audience, find qualified customers, and accelerate their business growth. I've had the fortune to have known Des through social media for a couple of years now, and have avidly watched the spectacular events he holds worldwide with inspirational women speakers on stage, where they have international recognition thanks to his invitations to uplift and promote them in their businesses. To be honest, I've had a secret crush on the very good-looking and debonair Des from the outset. Welcome, Des O'Connor. It's fantastic to have you here.
Thank you. I don't think I've ever had such an amazing, lovely introduction. I should get you to come over and speak. Are you available?
Yes, absolutely. But I think it'll have to be online these days.
Yeah, at the moment, yeah.
But don't worry. As soon as we can, I will be over there with an invitation immediately. Thank you, Des.
Well, just between me and you, you can jump in an Uber and come straight over. Don't worry.
Okay. Well, I hope the Uber's a hovercraft, and I have the ability to get across the ocean.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Oh dear. Des, tell us about your story, where you started out and what awakened your mind magic. Where did it all begin?
Thank you. That's a very good question. I think I know my journey started. I was a driving instructor. I was one of the top driving instructors. I had my own driving school in London, and I never knew about any of this entrepreneurial things that was happening, how to become an entrepreneur. I didn't know about personal development. And what happened very quickly, I fell in love, got married, moved, had a beautiful baby, got divorced, very painful divorce. I won't go into the ins and outs of it because those that are on this call, I'm sure, can relate to a painful divorce. And I was lost, suicidal. I lost everything. My ex-wife tried to clean me out and all the rest of it. And I was lost and I was looking for help. And one of my good friends suggested, you need to stop blaming her. You need to start taking responsibility. And I said, what do you mean? What do you mean take responsibility? She made me do this. She made me do that. And then I started working on reading on personal development, listening to audios. And I thought, this information is good stuff because it's making me feel good about myself. And then I realized that I had to take responsibility and stop blaming my ex-wife. And one of the key questions I asked myself was, who chose her? And it was me. And another intelligent question I asked myself, who chose to stay in a relationship when I felt disrespected? Me. So then once I understood that, I was able to not blame her as much or at all because I should take responsibility. Fast forward on, it was right about when The Secret came out in 2006. And I started to study and I qualified as a life coach. And I wanted to help people to be aware of that they have a choice and to be aware that they have the ability to achieve anything they want to. And there is help out there. I wasn't aware of personal development. I never knew what it meant at all. And it just goes to show this happened in 2006, 7, around about that time, 2007, 13 years ago. I'm a completely different person as I was then. I've grown. I've learned about myself, first of all. And what that did, it enabled me to have seminars and conferences of coaching women, single women, on how they can find the right man in their life. And one of the things that I realized was that not many people are aware that they have a choice. Not many people are aware that it's got nothing to do with, this is talking about the women, but it has nothing to do with the men out there. It starts within themselves. And I openly expressed how I felt. And what happened, what I realized was a lot of women in relationships that are single and in relationships don't really understand men. And likewise, men don't really understand women, because what I felt that is that when women need to speak to somebody about men, they very rarely speak to a man. They most probably speak to a female friend that is very angry, sometimes worse if she hates men or has unresolved issues. And then it just is a vicious circle. And then I wanted to have these coaching seminars and programs to educate the women about, this is how men are, this is how we are, this is what we expect from our women. And I had a lot of men on stage taking questions from the women in the audience. And then I was doing the dating and relationship things for, I'd say, about 8, 9, 10 years. And then I started to look at that. I noticed there wasn't a lot of women speaking on stage. It was predominantly male dominated over here in the UK. And I think it was a global thing as well. And I remember I had a single women's conference about 4 years ago. And I had 8 women on stage at my conference, and they were working with me. And at the end of that event, I thought, wow, that event flowed. And I remember sitting across the room, and all the women were taking selfies, having Facebook Lives, and just hugging and greeting each other and sharing, and it was lovely. And I sat there and I thought, wow, they are all promoting my brand. I thought, and I haven't paid them to do that. I thought, wow. And then I thought, well, hold on a minute. Why are there not a lot of women speakers speaking at a lot of the events out there? So I did some research and I spoke to about half a dozen of men that I know that host their own events. I said, listen, guys, like, off the record, speak to me in confidence. Why are you not giving women a chance? And unfortunately, and I share this on stage when I speak to the women, and I emphasize that to them, that the men were saying that their perception of women are not good speakers, they're not good closers. If they have relationship and childcare issues, they bring that on stage. If it's the time of the month, it affects her presentation. All those negative sexist comments, which I totally disagreed with because I came from that place where I was working with all these women. And the more and more I looked into this, the more and more I realized that the root of me wanting to set up the women in business was to do with my childhood. As a young boy, I was mainly brought up by my sister and my mother. My dad was still around. He was, I'd see my dad occasionally, but I was mainly brought up by my mum and my sister. And I had an older brother as well. So I had the male and the female balance. Some boys growing up only had the mother if she was a single mum. But I had, when I was going off the rails or I was a bit naughty, I was kept in track by my brother or my dad. Very rarely my dad, because my brother didn't need to get to my dad, because my brother, and I didn't want to get into my bad wrong side of my dad. And as a young boy, I was spoiled growing up, and I had a lot of love around me. I had a lot of love, and I was able to express myself about anything to my mum and my sister, mainly my sister. So I wasn't a suppressor. I don't bottle things in like some people. And I love that environment because I could be me. And a lot of men are not able to express themselves. And what they do is they suppress that feeling or emotion, and then they need it to let it out in some form of way. And some men let it out by anger, by violence, by drugs, by alcohol, whatever it is that they use. Overindulging in fitness too much, just pumping weights all day long, etc., whatever it is. And I wasn't like that. I was able to sit down and say to my sister or my mum throughout my life until my mum passed away in 2003. I was able to say, this is how I'm feeling. And I was never judged. Even if I decided to break down and cry in front of my sister or my mum, they said, it's going to be okay. Just look at how we can improve the situation. So obviously, my relationships from then, most of my relationships, if I was dating a suppressor, there'd be a problem because I'm saying, here's me, 100%. This is me. This is how I feel. This is my vulnerable side. And if she's the opposite, she's going to shut down and she's not going to express how she's feeling. And then there's a problem because it's black and white, isn't there? And there's conflict and that's how it goes. So I was on stage once. I think it was my third Women in Business event. And I got on stage and I said to the ladies, do you know something? The real reason I'm doing this, it's not about giving you speaking opportunities. I wanted to recreate the environment I had as a young child growing up. And that environment is having to be surrounded by positive, empathetic women. And that energy is so powerful because you all can express yourself, be vulnerable, and no one's going to judge you in this room. I said today, there's 3 women that have spoken on stage about their journey, and all 3 of them have been abused and they've broken down, and not one of you in this room judged her. When you encouraged her, you sent her love, and you can't beat that. And that's exactly what I had growing up. And I wanted to recreate that. And then the positive of that, I'm now providing an environment where like-minded women can come and share and be themselves. And then you're going to attract more clients. You're going to be more confident. You're going to make more money and the opportunities are going to grow. And in a nutshell, that more or less is my story. I wanted to provide the opportunities for women because what's happening is that when you go to a seminar or a conference, you see the speaker on stage and you think, it's like speaker's God. Wow, look at the big stage and look at the whole setup. And you think, if you've never spoken on stage before, you think, I'm never, ever going to be able to get on a stage like that. So I've created it where, no, I can create the opportunity for you. So I think I've put over 200 people on stage over the last just over 2 years. And I'd say about a third of those have been first time women speakers. And every one of them has moved on to improve themselves with their business, but not just the business, the confidence within themselves. Because once you deal with a major fear in your life, you just transfer that confidence skill to all the other areas of your life. And that's what's been happening for a lot of women. They've gone on stage, and I also announced to the audience, this is, if it was you, everybody, this is Susan's first time speaking on stage, so no one's judging her. I didn't want to hold events where they were all polished speakers, Susan. I do have some, but the majority are first timers or second or third timers, because I wanted to give them that opportunity. I didn't want to have an event where all the speakers are polished. So I do announce to the audience prior to when the speaker comes on stage, this is, for example, this is Susan's first time. So then everybody doesn't judge. If you stutter, if you keep saying every 10 seconds, it's okay. If you cry, it's okay. If you get nervous, it's okay. Because there's been women that have experienced that, and the audience gives her a round of applause and say, come on, Susan, you're okay. And then the person may break down. Women love that. Women love that connection like that, because they can relate to the other woman on stage as well. This would never work with men because of their ego, because they, the perception of, oh, you need to just get on with it and you're a man. No, because there's a lot of men out there that needs that in their life. And I believe also that you can't just have men on stage delivering to an audience of both sexes. I am continually learning about how women think and feel. And like we had a discussion before, and you rightly said, women can multitask a lot more better than men because that's how their brains are wired. Men can master one thing. That's why the best chefs are men, because we master that and we focus on that one thing at a time. And it's just gone from strength to strength. I didn't think it would take off as well as it did. We was talking before that in business, you need to be unique and you need to stand out. And who would have thought a man would be the number one in the UK for creating women business leaders and inspiring them to speak on stage? And obviously I stand out because obviously I'm going against the grain, because I've had women say to me, why are you working with women in business? Like I said, it's a law, I'm not allowed to. And I sometimes I used to get into discussions where I felt that I was trying to convince them of the reasons why. So what I decided to do is set a tab on my website, and I think the tab said something on the lines of why women, Des. And I say to them, everything is explained on there. And every time someone's read it, if they be bothered to read it, never comes back to me. So I find that quite fascinating. But then my testimonials don't lie. If you see a lot of the videos out there, they're very rarely of me, because all this inspirational entrepreneurship that I've set up it's not about me. It's about the women. It's about my clients. It's about them.
Thank you, Des. I love that you have such a passion for women, and that hearing your story about the female influences from when you were a boy created the man that you are. And consequently, your gentle soul attracted a person who was a controller. And it took moving from being a driving instructor and having your own company, and to be able to do that in London is pretty powerful, because you've got to know all those roads and everything else and all the rules. So I congratulate you on that. I had a long conversation with a black cab taxi driver about that. And wow, when he told me what he had to learn, I thought, oh my goodness, that's like going to university. What I do love is you had the courage, after the thoughts of suicide, the depression, and everything else, to reinvent yourself. And that friend who came and said, you are attached to that situation. You have to detach in order to be able to progress. And you continued and you went and trained to become a very powerful coach. And then in reflection, you had this ability to say, now, where am I going? And that you released the resentment about your marriage. And so many people I know have been through a divorce, and I don't know of many congenial divorces. So going through that as well, and being able to empower women and uplift them and see the niche where women speakers weren't being noticed. And for the United Kingdom, for somebody to be the number one person doing this is an incredible achievement. What I would love to know more about is your mum. Tell me about your mum. This incredible woman who created a person like you.
Wow, cool. My mum was a very strong, focused woman. She brought us up with respect and integrity, and she knew that she had a smart son. She knew that I would be successful. I've been on television a few times, but she always emphasized to stay grounded. She always emphasized to stay humble and don't run before you can walk. My parents were Jamaican, and there was a saying that my mum used to say to me, never throw your stick away until you get to the top of the hill. And there was another one where she would say, when you're taking your hand out of the lion's mouth, pull it out slowly. So those metaphors were very profound for me. She was a strong woman. She was an Aries. Those of you that know about star signs, very powerful woman. And she, she's a single mum, and she got on with everything. I saw her working hard. She was a domestic supervisor in a hospital, and I saw her working hard. And I always said, when I grow up, I'm going to look after mummy. I'm going to make sure she's looked after and she doesn't need anything. And that's what I did, and, unfortunately she passed away in 2003. However, I think of her every day, and she had a very strong influence on me as a child growing up. Even every day she's on my mind. Every day I have references of sayings and things she used to say and do that, just put a smile to my face. But she was, I loved her and I miss her dearly. It doesn't feel like it's been 17 years. She's coming up to 17 years. It feels like it was just last week.
Oh, bless you. I have to say that I think the Australians and the Jamaicans have something in common, and that is barbecue.
Food.
And food. And I heard you speak about men being the best chefs. And I agree with that. Ladies out there, you can prove to me wrong. I know many male chefs. Perhaps we need you to start having a chef school for women like you have for the women speakers. Who's to say, Des? But
oh, wow.
What is your...
I'll be accused of accusing women that can't cook. Can you imagine?
Well, your mother could cook, so obviously you learned to cook from her. So let's make it better that way.
That's right.
What is your favorite Jamaican food that you cook?
Wow. I like my chicken, various chicken. I like my lamb, Caribbean lamb. There's a traditional Jamaican soup that has dumplings and potatoes and carrots and yam and all those things that are in there with that. I like ackee and saltfish with boiled plantain, sweet potatoes. all of that. You cannot put a price on the feeling of our Jamaican food, how it makes us feel, especially the men, that makes us feel. It's the only food that puts me to sleep.
You see, that's a resonance and the afterglow of mummy's cooking as well. So there you are,
Yeah.
ladies. We're talking about that too. Okay, so changing the subject back to your fabulous woman-only speakers. Where do you host your events?
Central London, Susan. I hold them in Central London events in nice, classy hotels. I wanted to create a professional environment for the speakers, but also the audience as well. Because part of the service I provide, I don't only just put women on stage. I help them with their branding, their marketing, their their website, their social media, their Facebook Live interviews, they design their business cards, logos, roller banners, you name it. So I wanted to provide an opportunity for them, and also get their show reel. So can you imagine you're speaking on stage for the first time and you get a professional show reel or seeing you on stage in front of a couple of hundred people? They can then use that video footage of them to do whatever they choose to do with it, because they part of the packages they invest in me, they receive that. I don't keep the copyright and all those things like that. It's for you to do whatever you choose to do, because if they want to get another speaking opportunity or they're searching for a speaking opportunity, they just show them that video of them on stage and they're sold.
That's brilliant, and you do this with such heart as well, Des. I do appreciate you on behalf of all women out there, because
Thank you.
I've heard a lot of women speaking, because you work in the States as well with women. I mean, you've been kind of humble now where you talk about only London. Um, I've watched some of the women speak about the upliftment that you offer, and they are very American. Of course, they love you because you're from England as well, with your British accent.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, whereabout in the States have you hosted events?
I had an event in DC, that's DC, and also Atlanta.
Mhm.
I was involved with some dating and relationship events out there, with a man called Paul Carrick Brunson, who was endorsed by Oprah Winfrey. So that went really well. And this year I was meant to be out in Texas in June, and Ohio in September. I have no idea whether that's going to take place at the moment, the way things are.
Yeah, so Des, with the current COVID-19 challenge, and I call it a challenge because many people's lives are on hold and they have a lot of time to think. And this
Yeah.
is the time of the entrepreneur. Do you intend hosting events online?
Yes. What I'm doing at the moment, instead of hosting a seminar online, what I'm doing is providing online training modules for people to learn from that. I feel that that works. You can get different things from different speakers, but I think the time wise, I could record 7 steps on how to be successful on stage today. For me to organize and get another 7 speakers, that's going to take quite a while to do that. So what I've been doing is creating free videos. I've just recorded last week, how to become an expert and be paid as you sleep. I just recorded a whole hour free video for everybody to go and learn, and how they can become an expert and be paid as they sleep, because not many people are aware of that. And just providing that for people, they're at home. What can they do in all that free time? There's only so many Netflixes you can watch.
That's for sure.
Yeah. So that's working well. So then there's people that are coming want to work with me, and also, my next event that's coming up, we don't know what's happening with that. So there's still some speaking opportunities for that as well. So I'm also going to record a program for single women on how to find, attract, and keep the right man, because that's what I used to do before. So I'm going to create a program, for that as well, and most probably provide some one-on-one coaching for the women at this moment in time. How to find the right man after COVID-19.
Ooh. I was actually thinking that there must be a lot of online dating going on because of COVID-19. So perhaps
Definitely.
we'll have a lot of romances. And in Australia they have drive-through marriages at the moment. It's rather
Wow.
weird. Drive-through
I think
marriage.
I think there's going to be lots of new relationships and lots of breakups and lots of divorces as well.
Yes. Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah. It'll go both ways, and lots of babies.
yes,
I
that's right.
think
We're
we'll
going to
have a lot
have
of COVID.
there's going to be lots of babies, lots of babies being born in Christmas and January next end of this year. They have
They'll
to,
be
I think
called.
they need to, they
I
have to
wonder
make
what
make a
generation
lot.
they're going to be.
Yeah, they're going to have to make. They have to make a lot more hospitals to cater for all the babies that are going to be popping out, and nurseries and stuff. So yeah.
So that's exciting. We're going to have a lot of we call the latest ones indigo children. I wonder what we're going to be calling those babies. We'll wait and see.
We
I
wait and
will
see.
coin a phrase. Yeah. So Des, tell us about your awards as an entrepreneur and industry leading business coach. What awards have you received?
I've received a relationship coach of the Year award. Was provided for me by the Association Professional Coach Association Professional Coaches, Trainers, and Consultants.
Yeah.
In 2000, and I think it was 13, 14, I won the Relationship Coach of the Year, and that was my first award in the entrepreneur industry. I was recognised for the work I was doing for the dating and relationship industry. I've created lots of weddings, lots of babies that are not mine, by the way. I always make sure I put that in there.
Bless
And
you. That's
I've had,
funny.
I've had women tell me if I'm in the supermarket and say, "Oh, I found my husband because of you." I said, "When?" She goes, "Oh, your webinar you did 9 years ago." I'm like, "Why don't you tell me?" And they're pushing a baby, and I said, "Oh, I'm responsible for that." And it's really inspiring to get recognised for that. But I felt with the dating and relationship industry, I took it as far as I could take it. I have a book I will be most probably in a couple of years bringing out for single women, and it's just called "I Can Find You the Right Man." That will be the name of the book, and it says what it says on the cover of the book: "I can find you the right man."
So, is there a TV show in the making? I'm wondering about that, Des. One of those ones where you see men and women dating and finding out whether they're a good suit to each other. What are you going to be doing there? I mean, I know you're always cooking up something amazing, and of course, you've just launched this online program. And you are an industry leading business coach. Tell us about that.
My next project, as I'm launching Des O'Connor's shoes for women. I'm not sure if you're aware. You see some of my posts about high heels and shoes on my Facebook.
I have. I love the leopard skin ones. They are cool.
So what I've decided to do, I am launching Des O'Connor shoes this year. It was meant to be September the 5th, but because of COVID-19, it's mostly going to be pushed to the later part of the year. But I wanted to be unique again. I wanted to do something different. And one of the two things I realized, a lot of women, they've got a nice pair of shoes, high heels. And I thought, well, imagine if the heel, on the shoe itself, can be detached and replaced with a different color heel. So those leopard skin shoes that we saw, the heel was black. Okay. But let's say, for argument's sake, you was going out and you had a pink dress on going to a wedding, but you didn't want the heel to be black. You wanted the heel to match your pink dress. So what we're going to be creating, you can take off the heel, pop it on, and replace it with a different color heel that you want for yourself. So technically, one woman could have a pair of shoes that could technically be 5 or 6 or 7 different pairs because they have different heels in there.
That's so clever. I mean, we are now at the moment decluttering. And everybody is saying, well, I don't need that many pair of shoes. I don't know if Imelda Marcus would have thought of that, but I believe that a lot of people are decluttering because they feel they want less is more. So this shoe design with these heels is perfect for the lady who's traveling as well. She can travel with all of her heels, literally.
Just all in a box. But then I want to take it to another level, Susan. And I believe that I'd say 1, maybe 2% of the whole population of the world are into personal development.
Yeah.
If you think about all the members in our family, most of us does not even aware what it means.
Mm.
So I thought, how can I help these women at the same time when they are ordering my shoes to personally develop them in any area of their life for free? So my slogan, which we're developing at the moment, is the only detachable heel in the world that improves women's lives personally and professionally. So how does that work? You order a pair of my leopard skin shoes, for argument's sake, and you pay on your credit card, and you pay on the credit card, and there's a short questionnaire. And the questionnaire said to me, Susan, which of these areas are you interested in? And you may tick marketing, branding, podcasts, webinars, blah, blah, blah. So then, when you buy your shoes, the areas that you've ticked yes for, we will send you a free video or audio program on how to improve that particular area of your life. So if a woman was single and she ticked that she's single, we would send her video series of how to find and attract the right man for you. So this is what I'm going to be doing with the shoes at the same time.
Oh, that's fantastic. So this is promoting yourself in a very clever way as well, because it's generous. You're giving something away and you're empowering those people. And consequently, they then come back with confidence because they're attached to you because of that generous gift. And they'll buy some more shoes. Or you'll find these amazing women speakers that can wear your shoes on stage.
Exactly.
That's perfect. Oh, this is so wonderful. So, as a well-respected international speaker, and clearly you have not only the gift of the gab, but you have these brilliant ideas as well. So, wow, what an inventor you are. The
Thank you.
shoes detach right love. But as an international speaker, where have you held the stage? What's your most the moment that you felt the most powerful on the stage?
I would say when I held in the UK last year, I held my 6th Women in Business conference. And I had the pleasure of, we have a TV entrepreneur show called Dragon's Den. I don't know if you've heard of that, Dragon's Den.
Yes, they have one here as well.
Right. Yeah. So we had the UK version, and I had the pleasure of having the first female that ever was on the Dragon's Den. She was the first female. Her name was Rachel Elnor, and she was my guest speaker. And I remember watching that when I was actually married. It's when I was married, actually. And this woman was now speaking at my event, and I was on stage, and I was acknowledging her because she was so humble. She was so she was taking pictures of everybody, signing autographs, and I had a celebrity at my conference, which I never dreamed of, because I just started this just to help women to be successful and raise their confidence and all those things. And I think being on that stage, I had a packed audience, and I had a celebrity that's well known in the UK, and I think that was like wow, like that was a great feeling. I could have spoken on stage at another place, and there was like 1,000 people in the room. I don't think that would have been the same feeling as that because of the fact, Susan, that I created that. So there was the emotional attachment to the whole event, and yeah, that was such an amazing achievement.
Oh, fantastic. You're a best-selling author, contributing author to Coach Wisdom.
Yeah,
Tell us about this book.
this book was it had about I think 19 other, so I was a co-author for this book, and I spoke to the publisher, and I said to her, let me do a chapter which is different. And she goes, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to do a chapter on how to be successful as a coach. But I want to provide, after each tip, they go to that chapter where they get, at the end of the chapter, they get the videos of me giving them the tips for free. And I was the only author that presented that.
That's very innovative and very creative.
Thank you.
Ah, my male speaker Einstein.
Thank you.
Des, you say that the most important recognition to you is the fulfillment and meaning that comes from making a positive difference in your clients' lives and
Yes.
building a stronger community for entrepreneurs and business leaders. Share with us the reason for this passion.
I think this passion, I came from myself. I lost everything for my divorce, lost everything. It was really painful how it went about. And then when I come to somebody that doesn't have anything in place, feel lost, definitely lacks confidence. That's one of the number one traits that a lot of women out there think they're not enough. They're not worthy enough. And I say to them, of course you are. And the minute they go on that stage and they deliver that presentation and they come out of that $1 million, I love that. You can't put a passion. I've had women cry before they go on stage. I've had to take them out, hug them, give them a kiss, reassure them, because that's what I was shown as a boy growing up. So that
Your
skill
mum-
was my mum and my sister.
Your mum
So
did a
that's,
good job.
thank you. So that skill was the skill and the quality was very easy to transfer across.
That's brilliant. So this is where you are so successful. Is everything you do is from the heart.
Definitely.
It's and you do it for the love of the fact that you want to promote these people, and especially the ones who are just starting out and nervous, and you
Yes.
give them that confidence to speak. And that's what I love about you, Des. I've been watching what you do for a couple of years now, and
Thank you.
I think it's so generous of you. Now, you offer comprehensive marketing and brand strategy consulting to help your clients maximize their success on every level. What's it that's on offer for your clients? What is it that you give?
I show the client that how to understand their client's needs. That's the key. Once they understand what their pains are, what their problems are, we look at what solutions they provide for them. I have a very simple exercise when somebody comes to me. I had a call with somebody yesterday, and she goes, I got all these things I want to do, and I got all these, and I'm giving everybody this free advice. I said, are you getting paid for that? She says, no. I said, right, what's the number one quality that you say you have? And what's the number one complaint everybody says? So I think she says, they need help with contracts. I said, okay, right. What are the top three areas of that? The top three areas of the contracts that people complain about? So she told me 1, 2, 3. I said, right. What are the top three solutions that you can provide for each of those three? And she says, oh yeah, I can do those. So that's 9. That's 9 tips. And I said, right, let's break those 9 into 3 each, sub tips. And you now have 36 tips plus, so that's 27 plus the 9. I said, you now have the foundation of a book. You now have the foundation of digital products, and you now have the foundation of the business. Now you go out there and search for those pains and provide a solution to those problems because you've all just jotted that down. And that's the foundation of how I do what I do. Very, very simple. Because that client knows my client knows their client's problems and pains, and they know the solutions, but they do not know how to package it all up. They do not know how to deliver it in a way that the person feels, you are the person that can change my life. You are the person that can improve my current circumstances in a positive way.
So what you do is you create digital marketing and sales funnels, and then high quality lead generation and networking from these questions that you've asked your clients, and you've pulled it out of them as a coach,
Yes.
as a where you pull it out from their heart, and you know that what they've got in them, the knowledge is there, and then you turn it into something lucrative for them.
That's exactly that. And I also, sorry to interrupt you, but I also promote that service to my excessive database for them as well. So not only do I help them to create it, I then promote it for them and help them to systemize the inquiries. When somebody comes to your website, what happens? If I interview you on a Facebook Live, at the end of the live, where do they go to get more of you? It's very, very key. There's no point just talking and talking and talking. It's okay giving tips, but there's going to be people out there, especially at this moment in time, that want to work with you. They want to work with someone like you to improve their life. Provide the opportunity for them, because if you don't, they just go to your competitor.
And they will. And this is it's imperative that you get this across to people. And also something that I've realized as well, the best entrepreneurs are created in times of strife and crisis. So people who are listening to you with your instruction and your good coaching are best served doing as you advise, because like you say, there are so many people in the coaching industry and or in various industries who are desperate now to actually climb the ladder, because so many of us have lost jobs.
Yeah.
And so that's very good advice. Tell me more about what you're going to do. And I have a passion for this, so I've gone back on the subject. What you're going to do with the next designs of your shoes, and who designs them for you?
Very good question. My shoe there's going to be about a dozen shoes, and each pair of the shoes will be called the names after my siblings and my parents. So that'll be the name of the shoe. And the shoes are going to be a combination of classy, sexy, not too sexy because I want to attract a professional woman. I'm not saying that there's not professional women that are not sexy. But if you look at there's sexy and there's sexy, isn't there? I think there may be one or two, in inverted commas, bedroom shoes. I've never said that. I posted a pair of shoes, and then it's the women that are saying those shoes are only for the bedroom, and everybody knows what that means. What that means basically is that she walks across the room to get her man the glass of water that he's asked her to collect on a windowsill.
Oh, I think it's delightful. Well, for a love and relationship coach, I think you're perfect.
So the shoes are going to be, I'm speaking to, funny enough, on a serious note, I've been speaking to a few manufacturers, and one of them was in China. And they wanted me to come out there, and it would have been round about the time when China was on lockdown. So I won't be using. I decided not to use China. There's about 2 or 3 other people that at the moment that I'm speaking to. I was meant to go and visit them last month, but because of all what's been happening, it's put on sort of hold. So at the moment, the shoes are not going to be available until the end of the year. but I'm holding a catwalk model audition to choose a model to be the face and the foot of my shoe brand. So I'm having a catwalk model audition where I'm going to have 100 models walking on stage, and then we're going to choose. There's going to be a panel of judges who's going to choose the winner, who's going to be the face on the shoe of my brand. And my plan is to take that internationally next year, and she will be traveling with me to take the shoe brand all over. Because what I want to do is speak at women business conferences all over the world now, promoting the shoes and the opportunity. And I know for a fact I've been speaking to entrepreneurs and promoters who are very interested because it's different, because women love shoes. So on top of that, the shoes are going to be detached. And on top of that, it improves your life. So can you imagine this woman's on stage and she's walking along with the shoes, and then we have a video on screen showing how the shoe can be detached. I love the sound when you women see a pair of shoes you love, you just say, oh my God. Because you don't care how much the shoes are, I have to have that shoe. Because you women want to stand out. You go out into a wedding or a function or a party, you want to look, you want everybody to say, oh my God, where'd you get those shoes from? Us men, us men are not bothered about that. Men can have the same pair of shoes for 5-10 years and still wear them, just change the heel on them. But you women, that's why there's so many women that buy shoes, and you women buy on your emotions. And then you have, I know for a fact, loads of women have shoes in their wardrobe right now they've never worn. Hundreds of pounds and dollars on them, and they've never worn them. They've worn them, tell a lie, they've worn them in the house, walking around in the mirror and showing them up, but they haven't got out of the house.
Well, after what you've just shared, they're obviously wearing them in the bedroom.
That's right.
But now what you can do, Des, is you can create matching heels for the blokes' shoes to match the ladies' shoes. So when they go out, they can have the same pink heels or the same black ones.
That's right.
You're right. Well, I tell you what, as an artist myself, a visual artist, you call me if you're ever looking for a shoe designer, or if you go into a line of haute couture hats, I think I'd be in my element designing shoes, hats,
awesome.
Speaking on stage or online for you. I'm here, Des.
Thank you.
Here I am.
My first pair being opposed to you in Australia.
Oh, perfect. And I'll be coming across in my hovercraft Uber in my shoes.
Maybe that's another unique idea. Create an app that provides Uber hovercraft transport very quickly. How do you think of that?
Well, why not? Well, I heard somebody speaking online the other day, and they were saying that with this whole new world, we're going to go into these hovercraft type car things that float around. And so, yeah, we could do that and have our shoes and let our feet do the walking. What talking? Speaking.
That's right.
I'm diversified. I'm so enjoying talking to you. Des, what is it that you help your clients with? I mean, what do you show them what to do? You know, like launching events, their international speaking. Share with us what it is that they get in that package from you.
The package covers so many things. I decided when I was setting this up, I looked around at what are the pains and the problems that people face within their business. And one of the challenges that a lot of people have is they want to do so many things at the same time, and then they end up with nothing. And therefore, they don't have any plan in place, and they don't know what they need and what they require. So I did the research, and I thought, well, they want to speak, they want to launch their book, they want to have a launch event, they want to get leads using social media, they want to record videos, they want digital products, they need help with SEO, search engine optimization, they definitely need a website. But if they have a website, what does a website do for them? Because most people think spending a few £1,000s on a pretty website, is that's what it's about? Well, no, your website needs to be generating leads for you. Your website needs to be making money for you as you sleep. It should be systemized. If you're out shopping or you're sleeping, you want to wake up with money in the bank. You want to wake up with people that want to arrange a consultation or a coaching call with you. That's the whole purpose of having a website. Your website is not just an online magazine. Your website is there for you to generate leads, build relationships, provide things with value, let people research you. So what then happens is when they come to me and they don't have a website, they see mine and they think, oh, we love your website. We want what you have. Now, it's fair to say that you can go and get a website designed for $100, as we know. You can get a cheap website, or you can pay a lot of money to get an expensive website, but with the help. Now, with me, my website packages are not cheap. And the reason why they're not cheap is because I don't just design it, I systemize it for them as well. So I help the clients when somebody goes to their website, we take them on a journey from the first time we collect their email address to what the next stage is going to be, and then provide them with value. But the value must come from the client. So then we go back to what we were saying about what are the pains and the solutions. And once that's all packaged up, then we can serve them. Because when people come to your website, you want to grab their contact details. You want to ask them a few pain questions. And then that question comes back to you. So when you get on the call with them, you can say, oh, I hear that you're having problems using social media. Oh, well, actually, tell me about that. Oh, I have problems getting Facebook leads. Oh, great, because I specialize in helping my clients do that. And then you can take them down that angle. And that seems to work because a lot of people, they don't have an idea of how it works. They're not aware of that your website is there to generate leads and make you money.
Wow, Des, that means a gal can get on with what's important and concentrate on her speaking and working at her business while you do everything else. And it sure takes the headache out of trying to do it all yourself.
That's right.
So
yeah.
I would think that the value out of that is immense. Des, do you offer a discovery call at all to people who would like to contact you?
Yes, I have different packages. I've just promoted Become an Expert and Speak on Stage, Become an Expert and Be Paid as You Sleep, provide £2,000 worth of bonuses and a coaching discovery call with that as well. And also desoconnors.com, I do provide that for them as well. They have to fill in a questionnaire prior to the call, so then I know exactly what they need from me when we get on that call. And it makes the call more productive for the client.
Yeah, it would do, because you've sort of got an idea, and of course then you don't have to try and draw it out of that person for the first half hour of that
That's right.
call. So
That's
it
right.
makes total sense. And I would think it puts a person more at ease as well, because they've shared a certain part of how they feel in order to be able to speak with you. How do our listeners contact you, Des?
They can contact me on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, I have nearly 20,000 followers on there. Or they can contact me from my main website, which is desoconnors.com. Or they can get hold of me on Facebook, desoconnors.com, desmondoconnor.com. Or just Google Des O'Connors and I'll come up on the search. Or they can just email me, des@desoconnors.com.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us, Des, and taking time out today for your really busy schedule to be here today. Because
Thank you,
I know how busy you are. And I know the audience will recognize you as a person of limitless creativity and someone who certainly has awakened your mind magic into being the fabulous person you are, helping so many women and men. You do help them to be the change they want to be, and thanks to you and what it is that you do for them.
Thank you very much. And thank you. I've enjoyed this interview so much. It was meant to be 20 minutes and it's nearly an hour. How do you do that, Susan?
Oh, I just love talking to wonderful, handsome men like you. You see, I managed to do that.
Thank you. Thank you. I am blushing, everybody, now. I know I'm black, but I'm now turned red.
Oh, dear. Oh, Des, thank you so much. And
thank
you everyone, for listening to this amazing man.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe.
That's Awaken Your Mind Magic for another week. If anything you've heard today has really impacted you and you want to know more, or you would just like to connect with me, then visit my website, awakenyourmindmagic.com, and reach out for a free one-on-one discovery session with me.
Silver on the outside, silver on the outside, gold on the inside. Silver on the outside, gold on the inside. Silver on the outside.
Tune in next week, where I'll be discussing more tools to unlock your dreams and live a limitless life that you would truly love to live. I'm Susan Kathleen, and this has been Awaken Your Mind Magic.